Hey unicorns, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chrissy. Welcome back to the Purple Library and the Year Freakout Tag. The Year Freakout Tag. The Year Freakout Tag. I'm not too freaked out about it because I'm very aware of what I ain't been reading. So the stack of books you probably see behind me, don't look back there. I will link the previous year's mid-year freakout tag videos in the description below so you can kind of see how my reading has been over the past couple years at the midway point. You might be able to see a trend that I don't see. I'm behind on a lot of tags. I know. I'm working through. I have a one-step plan. Looking down, I'm looking at my beautiful notebook. But if you've been here before, you already know. You remember when I went to this Target and got this. So we friends here. We know we book besties. You know your auntie been out here in these streets in a while. Y'all pray my strength. We going on a fade. How we going on a fade? So let's get into the deck. Best book you've read so far in 2024. I have a few. Murder at the End of the World. Y'all, I love this book. 5 stars. It has the sci-fi high themes I love. Action, thrill, all the things. My cousin Rachel. Y'all, Kelli and Bethany earlier this year, we literally were talking about this book 2-3 weeks after we finished it. Rebecca in October, say less. My guy Chuck Black, y'all know the Chuck Black chokehold had me in its grip, literally by the throat. I plan on continuing a series later this summer. I thoroughly love it. It is very hard science fiction, so technology and space battles and bang bang and top tier. Up city, T where you at? I see you, girl. You got your tissues, T? Had us weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. I read this with friends. I will link the vlog below. Land of Silence by Tessa Afshar, one of my favorite authors. I think I cried in this one too. About the woman with the issue of blood. It's one of Teresa's favorite books of all time. I absolutely see why, and it's definitely a new favorite for me. I loved this book. Pied de Resistance, Fish in a Tree. I still think about this book. This is a middle grade book about a little girl with dyslexia, and I was healed from dyslexia, and I'm telling you, I definitely was Allie. Allie was me. Little Chrissy was definitely healed. 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. You may have already decided what the favorite book of the year is. Best sequel you read so far in 2024. Oath. Chuck Black, y'all. Book 4 in the Starler Legacy, and it took me out. It slayed me. The King's Scrolls by J.L. Knight, book 2 in the Ilion Chronicles. Y'all, just Christian non-magical fantasy series, and it's actually very much giving adult fantasy. Thoroughly invested. I absolutely love this. I talk about this in nauseum in one of my vlogs. Amazing sequel for sure. New releases you haven't read but want to. How close these questions get in my business. I forgot. Chaos Grid by Lindsay Lulin. This is a Christian sci-fi dystopian YA. Just recently came out this year. Even Girl Don't Know Her Destiny. Listen for the lie. I heard so many great things about this. I actually have the audiobook for this on hold because why would I get the book and not the audio if it's supposed to be like a podcast thriller, true crime book? Mrs. Thomas actually read this and she really enjoyed it. I have high hopes that it's going to be a good time. In Plain Sight by Tanya Sharp Hinch. I met Tanya in 2014 at a book expose event. She's an indie thriller author, and I haven't talked much about her books on my channel, but I'm going to change that because I've read so many of her books over the years, and I really like her thrillers. I don't know what this is about. A sister, rich people problems, somebody die. Gardens of Eden by Rosie Lee. I've had my eye on this book for so long. This is a Christian contemporary, evidently for sisters, huh? I'm just guessing. The cover is just literally one of the most beautiful books I've actually bought. I'm skipping questions. Look at me skipping questions. I think that's one of the questions. Truth Be Told by Patricia Raybon. Of this series, this is a Christian historical mystery series, so it's a little genre bending. I read the first book in this series a couple years ago, if not last year, and I really enjoyed it. Book 3 in this series. She is absolutely gorgeous, and she got a purple dress on too. Girl, yes. I'm gonna be tired of me talking about this. I'm too black. No, but really, Reclamation, and I haven't read it. Holly was like, girl, get to reading it. Most anticipated releases for second half of 2024. 2024 has been amazing for book releases. Like every quarter, there's been amazing books coming out. I'm here for it, honey. My pockets though, girl, no. I got a few. Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I recently finished Powerless by Lauren Roberts, but I'm gonna talk about that in a video coming down the pike. So stay tuned to the channel because I really enjoyed Powerless. I know I haven't talked about it a lot, but I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed Nightmare Virus by Nadine Brandes. Y'all know I love Nadine. Wishlist, one of my favorite books. Absolutely super hyped about this book. I don't really know much about it, but it's Nadine and that's all I need to know. Maiden by Morgan Bussey. Now I am really looking forward to reading this series. I want to finish her Ravenwood Saga series in the Mist as well with Katie in July, so I'm super excited. So there's gonna be a lot of Morgan on deck. Ignite by Kara Swanson, Christian fantasy series or book 1 in a new series. So I have Dust on My Shelf by Kara Swanson. Haven't read it yet. It's Peter Pan Christian fantasy retelling. So I'm curious to read that because, honey, I read Darling Girl and that was not, Darling Girl was wow. It was fun though, but it was Davenport series, More Than This. You guys, this cover is absolutely stunning. It's giving Chrissy everything. Beautiful brown girl on the cover. Beautiful purple gradient. It's just giving what it said it's supposed to give. It's supposed to come out in November. I'm super excited. Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, book 5 in the Stormlight Archive. I know, I'm just letting you know that I am aware of the 5th book coming out in the Stormlight Archive and that I haven't started the Stormlight Archive yet because Hobbs season is here and I got a level set. I got a level set. I got all these pre-ordered. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I don't. Biggest disappointment, Ninth of Never Letting Go. I recently unhauled that book because it's not over here in the corner, and if it is, I ain't going there to get it. This is probably my most disappointing read because it is from my preferred genre of science fiction. Highly acclaimed, highly recommended as a series that was interesting, innovative, had a fantastic characters, and so I had high expectations with this book. I buddy read it with my bestie Julie. We were locked in to really finish the series. Like it was that one series we purposely went out together to make sure we both had the same books, and it was a whole thing. And so to be let down by the series was pretty disappointing. I still don't know why it doesn't work for me. I talked about it in one of my vlogs. I will definitely link that in the cards in the description below. I gave it 2 stars, and that's pretty severe for a science fiction story for me. This is supposed to be like right in my vein, in my big, and it let your girl down. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like I unhauled it and made room for new books, and so and we move on. Biggest surprise. The Speckled Band by Arthur Conan Doyle. The Speckled Band was my first Sherlock Holmes short story that I read, and I was super surprised by it because I love Agatha Christie, and I had not at that time attempted a Sherlock Holmes short story mystery. I was blown away. A lot more on the darker side, a lot more on the grimy dark side, and I like that. I ain't gonna hold you. Absolutely surprised me. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming, and I still think about it. How did you get that from the scenario? Because I didn't even put none of that together, sir. New favorite author, Chuck Black. Newest favorite character, to be Kyrian from the King Scrolls. I really like her as a character. She is not a Mary Sue. She is just such a layered and complex character. I love the other characters that are around her, and I'm just super invested in her character arc over the course of the next few books. J.L. Knight wrote such a character who was so aware of herself, strong, and yet very vulnerable. Also deep in her faith and navigating those relationships around her of people with different belief systems, and how she literally sacrifices for her family, but she's not overpowered, she's not underpowered, she's not a weak person. She's just a very beautifully complex and grounded character. She reminds me a lot of Myr from Wishlist. Book that made me cry. Oh man, I pretty much told y'all all the books that made me cry. So of course, Fish in a Tree, For a Lifetime, and And Chuck Black made me cry in the oath. He did. My answer's getting real redundant, y'all. So, book that made me happy. Babysitters Club. Oh my gosh. I loved reading the Babysitters Club this year. I have a few more books left in the series. I've read 8 so far. And this is actually my favorite that I've read so far, which is Logan Likes Mary Ann. Swim Team. Oh my gosh. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a middle grade graphic novel about Brienne, and what's her name? Bree. She is just don't know how to swim, child. She don't know how to swim. And it was very interesting because a lot of Black kids, myself included, we don't know how to swim. And she kind of delves into the reason behind that. And I thought that was very insightful and encouraging, the history behind that. And it's boba time for Pearl Lee. Y'all know I love me boba tea, okay? It is my tradition. I'm so happy. This is a middle grade book about a girl named Pearl and her love for boba and origami. And I just love it. Last but certainly not least, Honest June. My baby girl, Honest June. I love June. She is definitely one of my favorite middle grade characters, and I could see myself rereading the series. This is the 3rd book in her series, and I want Tina Wells to write more. Can I follow June through middle school and high school and college? It is fantastic. I absolutely love June. Books I DNF'd. Ooh, let me get my pen. I'll be right. One moment. Now, some of these books are not like the others. Some of these books just don't belong. A couple books on here that I have strong sentiments about. Albeit these are all my subjective opinions. And honey child, you go and read what you want to read because you want to read that book. Don't let auntie's review stop you from reading your book, honey. You go find out for yourself if that's a book that you need to read, huh? I'm going to try to tell you about the content warnings and things in it so you are informed when you move forward. But go and read what you want to read. And I say that to say I read these. It was, no, I DNF 5 books, y'all. Yeah, Song of Ebony. It's me, not the book. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, but I think it was just a little too slow for me. The pacing was off. The writing was a little too clunky for my reading taste, but I do recommend the book, like fairy tale retelling of Snow White. So the content was fine. There was nothing that struck me as weird. I think I stopped at like 50-some%, child. It's probably not for me. Strange the Dreamer. So Strange the Dreamer, I DNF'd about 20%. I buddy read it with my sissy out there. Everyone really enjoyed it and really liked talking about it. Loved the framework of the story. I love Strange, the character. It read very lustful to me. It read there was no sexual content, but it was a lot of descriptions about body parts and how those body parts function and the precipitation upon those body parts. It was just Auntie can't handle all that. Auntie can't handle all that. So I'm going to move on. This Hawthorne. Now, Brothers Hawthorne, book 4 in the Inheritance Games series. I finished the Inheritance Games books 1 through 3 last year. I had a great time. I gave almost all the books 3 stars. Good rating. I had fun. YA trash. I'm here for it. Let's go. I recommend it. Sure. Owning the Brothers Hawthorne changed. I didn't pick the boy I wanted. She out here choosing the wrong boy. I said, girl, that ain't the boy you supposed to be with. So you gonna start the story off and not even gonna act like you gonna get with the boy that I think you supposed to get with, and then he over here simping for you. Nah, fam. Just something different about it. And I was super hyped. I had pre-ordered book 5 and I was like, I canceled my pre-order and unhauled that book out. Like, now find out for yourself. Now you might get to book 4 and really enjoy the setup for book 4. It may not necessarily enjoy the first 3 books, but you might enjoy the second part. So find out for yourself. But Auntie couldn't do it, child. Wishing Game. Yeah, y'all like, when did you read that? I don't know, child. I filmed a clip somewhere that you may see in the future. And I don't know why I sat there and did that, because I read 13 pages and said, nah, fam, I ain't got time. Not because Wishing Game probably is good. I've heard great things about it. Everyone says if my time is set up, how these shelves are set up, I ain't got time. Pearlie's Girls. Man, so Miss Pearlie's Girls kind of set me off a little bit. I honestly don't know how to categorize this book, and I think that's why it bothered me. I got 20% of the book and I was like, yeah, nah, fam, I can't even. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not even gonna be able to do it. Family of sisters who their mama is named Miss Pearly. He has a chronic health condition that brings them all together. So clearly there's a family dynamics, which I like. I like complex families, contemporary. But then one of the daughters is a pastor's wife, and then the other one is a lesbian, and the other one is out here running amok in these streets, you know. I felt like it was trying to make me identify with one of the sisters. And obviously the sister I would identify with would be the church girl one. It wasn't authentic to that perspective that I'm supposed to read myself into as the intended audience. I was like, nah, fam. You know, it went way far into the lesbian sapphic thing, and then it was just all over the place. I don't even think it was just not fair. It just wasn't for me, and it was very disappointing, because a lot of the times when it came from the sister with the faith perspective, it was very much giving mockery. Like, the character, she didn't even believe what she was doing, and that was like, I was thinking it was more of a faith-based book. But then it turned very quickly secular, and I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Like, either your voice be one way or the other, and it was very confusing for me to pick up the tone. And I think but that's subjective. That's subjective. So you go on in faith, and you see, baby, you see, Auntie's throat is parched. Most beautiful book bought this year. These questions be in my business. Wolf Soldier by James R. Hannibal. Mr. Librarian picked this up for me. I love winter type books and dragons, and it's a purple dragon. Really so beautiful. This is a Christian YA fantasy, a library thief. Oh my gosh. So this just sounds so interesting to me. A library of secret books, and there's a thief that's trying to get him, child. Cover of the bookshelves. It's just so beautiful. Like, I feel transported. Heaven Breaker. Okay. I know y'all, listen, it's pretty, okay? And I know I might be thoroughly disappointed. Talking about beautiful covers, I think we won. Just look at the front. Would I keep this book because it's so beautiful, even though I might give it 2 stars? It's possible. Last tag question. What books do you really need to read by the end of this year? I have a book confession. Come in a little closer. We need to talk. We need to talk about it. I hope you hear my heart on this. I'm not going to be reading Redeeming Love this year. I'm not. Hear me out. Hear me out. Y'all don't come for me. So I haven't started this book. And it's not the book, it's me. Like, I don't think I'm in the season to read this book. And this has been on my TBR for probably two years now, maybe 3. And put it back on my shelf. And I know when the season comes for me to read this book, I will read it. Kind of the same thing for This Present Darkness. I waited years. I had heard about that book for years and years and years and years. And when I actually did read it, it was the right time for me to read, the right season in my life. I could receive it. It's the same for this book. It doesn't diminish what she's brought to the genre and all the beautiful things that I've heard about Francine Rivers, specifically about Redeeming Love. But I'm just going to graciously move on and just wanted to confess that to you. I have 3 books that I really do want to get into before the end of the year. Realms of the Dead by Sharon K. Gilbert. This is book 6 in the Red Wing saga. This is a Christian mystery thriller series. Book 1 starts with a detective trying to determine what's going on with mysterious murders, dealing with Jack the Ripper, mystery and thrill, and intrigue of Jamie Jo Wright, with a little bit of romance sprinkled in, but the spiritual warfare of This Present Darkness. I highly recommend this series. The Conqueror by Brian Lipton. This just sounds like a very interesting book to read, and it's one of those books that might surprise me. So I really need to get to it. This is a Christian historical fiction about a Roman spy who has a conversion, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out. The plot, this is a literary thriller, and I've had my eye on this. I'm buddy reading this with Laura later this year. We're excited to see where this goes. Those are the questions for the Freakout Tag. Before I go, I want to do a goals check-in, because child, we need to see where we at with these reading goals, okay? My first goal was read 72 books. I've read 47 books at the time of this filming, so that's really good. And so I'm super excited about that. 47, really good. I'm a little more than halfway to my 72 book outcome, so I'm super excited. Read 85% from my physical shelves. This is great. This is kind of one of those goals that's kind of like a moving target for me. So out of the 47 read, not including loans and rereads, 42 of the books I've read this year have been off of my physical shelves. Like, I'm so glad. Like, I'm almost at 100% for this goal, and I really want to stick to it. Finished 10 ongoing series. So I finished 3 series: Goodbye Trilogy, Honest June, and Harvest of Rubies. Those 3 series that I was able to finish. I had 1 book left in each of those series, so it was definitely easy to knock those out. So now I got to get to, okay, the next set. So hopefully I can finish these series or get caught up. Update and maintain my reading tracker. I've been trying to do, I'm kind of tinkering on it, to keep my numbers and things organized, and I'm going in faith, but I'm definitely keeping keeping track of it more than I ever have before. Read more classics. So this is great. I'm currently reading Agnes Grey with Kelli, and I'm really enjoying it. Sort of meeting that goal, but again, it's quite open-ended. But I do want to read some Jane Austen this year. And of course, Daphne du Maurier is going to be happening this year. So I'm pretty confident that I can meet that goal. So unicorns, let me know. Feel free to answer any of those questions, any of the tag questions down below. How many books have you read so far this year? Hope you enjoyed. This is so much fun to do every year. Really amazing year for the channel as well. I definitely want to thank everybody. Over 1,000 subscribers right now, and that was a huge milestone, and I couldn't have done it but for the grace of God, you guys, and for you inviting me into your home and your hearts. And I really appreciate that sentiment. I appreciate all of you take the time to comment on my videos. Like, that's wild to me. And those who've messaged me and said, girl, I ain't commented, but I'm watching you every week. Pray that the Lord strengthen and keep you, that he give you an abundance of blessings for partnering with me and just being a part of this community. It's just a fantastic community. All the love, the support that we have for one another. I know that the Lord has been absolutely faithful, and I know that he will continue to be faithful as well. So keep your girl in prayer as I continue to steward this platform, and all of those who are out here on YouTube, just keep them in prayer, y'all. Let's lift them up as they're out here, because it's a lot to do, and it's a lot to maintain, especially with families and things like that, and all the pressure to conform and to do what everybody else trying to do. But I just want to encourage you, you're strong in the Lord, right? That you do what the Lord tell you to do, and you follow his instruction, and he gonna make it all right. Yeah, you might be doing something different than somebody else. Yeah, it might look different, or you might not have everything that everyone else has, but you got the Lord on your side. And if you don't, he there for you too. So you can just go ahead and invite him in, right? And so I just want to encourage you in the Lord today. Know I'm thinking of you, and I thank you for all of your support, sincerely from the bottom of my heart. There's so many great things coming to the channel, y'all. We already halfway through, and my goodness, the inspiration is flowing. And I thank the Lord, and I thank you too. May the Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May he give you hope and peace for the days and the times ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.